Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter Guida, and I am the proud principal of Nakusp Secondary School, and I welcome you all, parents, friends, family, staff, and honored guests, to the 2023 Nakusp Secondary School commencement exercises. The land that surrounds us is part of who we are. It reflects our histories. We need to protect and honor the history and people of these places, and as such, I would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather, their stewardship and ongoing presence on the land. The grads send a special welcome to those family and friends that traveled great distances to be part of their special day. I ask that you turn off the ringer on your cell phones for the duration of this event, knowing full well you'll need them for photographs. To help you with some photo opportunities here on the floor, the grads will be entering from your left, move across to the front of the stage, and stop at a designated place so family and friends can take photos before they climb onto the stage. The first graduate will be led in by RCMP Constable Kyle Thompson. The grads want to acknowledge the officers of the Nakusp Detachment for their positive relationship they have with our school and our community. Constables Mark, Kyle, Mike, and Corporal Tom. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the Nakusp Secondary School graduating class of 2023. Brody Juan Stahl, son of Cindy Howe and Gary Juan Stahl. Before pursuing his post-secondary education, Brody plans to take a year off to do some traveling, starting with a trip to Italy later this month. Brody enjoyed playing soccer and being a member of the school mountain bike team. He has maintained presence on the Gold Honor and Effort Roll throughout high school. His involvement with the mountain biking team earned him the Spirit of the Team Award at last night's banquet. His favorite memories include spending time with friends and going on fun field trips like soccer provincials and the Vancouver Boat Show. Brody is inspired by his father and his ability to remain calm even in the most adverse situations. His favorite saying is, "That's tomorrow Brody's problem." Shout out to his mom and dad for being awesome. Jake BJornison, son of Lisa and Tony BJornison, Jake is taking a small gap year to work in Australia. Upon his return, he will be going into horticulture. An avid pickup basketball player and part-time coach, he's been a consistent member of the Honor and Effort Roll throughout his time at high school. His favorite memory is spending the season in the shoes of a coach, which was a cherishable experience and one that he'll look back on with pride. A person who inspires him is his sister, Tasha. Her greatest trait is being a big sister and taking care of Jake up to this point. His quote from Anders Hoffman, "Limitations are perceptions." He has a couple of shout-outs, first to Brendan Klassen for continuing to fight the battles to the bitter end, as well as a big thank you to Lindsay Percy and her family for all the lessons learned. The words will guide me for years to come. Julius Zapolatel, son of Kira and Karel Zapolatel and stepfather J.D. McDermott. Julius will be taking time off to go to work and then pursue a career in the trades. An avid member of the soccer and mountain biking team, his name also appeared prominently on the school's honor roll. Julius also received the Iron Legs Award as a member of the school's mountain biking team at last night's grad dinner. His favorite memory is eating lunch in Boz's room with his friends. His inspiration are his parents because they're always helping him get to the next stage of life and support him all the time. He would like to give a shout out to his friends and family that helped get him through school and start the next phase of his life. Nolan Bonner, son of Angela Kleiss and Jeff Bonner, Nolan plans to pursue a career in ecotourism. He truly enjoyed all of the school ski trips. He has the highest award that he could get from me was the most late slips of any student at the school this year, enough to probably wallpaper his room. His favorite memory was his time in auto class. He's inspired by his dad because he's become a successful entrepreneur. His quote from Fred DeVito, "If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you." He wants to give a shout out to Mr. Barasoff for giving him helpful advice about his car and for all the hands-on experiences in the shops. Tava Greer, daughter of Rebecca Sharp, Tava plans to go to Okanagan College to attend the Women in Trades program, and after that plans to get her Red Seal in welding. Tava enjoyed playing junior volleyball and spending tons of time in the art room and the outdoor education classroom. Tava has been a member of the honor and effort roll many times in the past 2 years. Her favorite high school memory is learning to build swing sets with wooden poles in Mr. Boswell's science class. Her inspiration is her mom. She inspires Tava because of her independence, strength, and compassion. Rebecca has taught her how to support herself, be strong, and be kind, and to always trust in herself and never give up. Her quote, "Doing what you love is freedom, loving what you do is happiness." A shout out to Mr. Boswell for being the coolest and most inspirational teacher she's ever had. John Romeo, son of Ashley and John Romeo, he plans to visit family and then go back to school to get his tickets in welding, electrical, and landscaping. Truly loved his time in outdoor ed and playing indoor soccer in PE class. His favorite memory was the outdoor ed school trips. His quote, "Always be yourself unless you suck, then be somebody else." His next quote, "Life is not without pain, but life concerns itself with how we handle the pain, or joy, or confusion, or triumph. Life is more than time passing before death. It is the sum and total of all that we make of it." Zola Mirror, daughter of Carla Desjardins and Douglas Mirror, Zola will be working through the summer and then will be attending Okanagan College in Kelowna to become an automotive service technician. Zola was on the volleyball team throughout high school and the basketball team in grade 11 and 12. She has recently been awarded a $20,000 scholarship from the Métis Nation of British Columbia to support her post-secondary plans. Her favorite memory, science with Mr. Boswell, where she could build stuff. Her inspiration is herself, because she couldn't do it without me. Whether you think you can or think you can't, as Henry Ford said, you are right. Another shout out for Mr. Boswell for being the most dope. Michael Watson, son of Crystal and Kurt Watson. Michael plans on working in the bush for a while, then he's going off to pursue his passion for skiing. Michael is proud to say that he participated in every whitewater ski trip while at the high school, even returning this past February after graduating early. He's a constant member of the honor and effort roll, and of course his favorite memory was the ski trips and finishing school early. Michael is inspired by his family and how hard they work. Anaya Hildebran, daughter of Michelle and Dana Hildebran. After high school, Anaya plans to relocate to Italy with her family. Before she starts a post-secondary program in culinary arts, she will work and travel, exploring Europe as a whole, and then getting settled in Italy. She participated in many sports, but by far was most enjoyed being on the volleyball team. She has also been a part of Student Council, Interact, the Fair Trades Club throughout her time in high school. Her favorite memories include all the sports trips and frantically running to town and back with Keziah Hop to get more coffee during exam week. Her quote from Josh Kiskat, "Life is constant celebration of love. Where there is love, we must live on, and where there is not love, we must provide it." She wants to give a shout out to her mom, her dad, and her two sisters, Taya and Brielle, as well as her grandma and her uncle for their love and support throughout her life. Andrea Bonomi, son of Paula Rocky and Omera Bonomi. Andrea plans to attend university or college next year, but after having a wonderful time as an exchange student here in Nakusp, is not sure where, Italy or Canada. He played soccer and was a member of the school's mountain biking team. Last night at the grad banquet, he was bestowed with the Free Spirit Award, as well as the Breakthrough Rider Award for his involvement with the mountain bike program. His favorite memories include the outdoor education activities, all the trips, and his involvement with the sports program. He wants to thank his parents because they can always see the positive aspects even in the worst situations, and they're open to learning and discovering something new. He would also like to thank his family who made this exchange possible, as well as the high school and all the friends and memories he's taking away, but especially Warren and Stephanie Fulmore as his host family. He wants to thank you for everything. He's taking away a lot of special memories. Dakota Fizzard, son of Lindsay and Daryl Fizzard. Dakota is taking a gap year, working to build up money for post-secondary plans that he has in the fall of 2024. An active participant in soccer, basketball, track and field, and golf, he was often a member of the honor and effort roll and was given the most improved player for senior boys soccer, as well as awarded the senior male athlete of the year last night at the grad banquet. His favorite memories include sports trips, the grade 11 outdoor ed canoe trip, and lunch in Boz's room. He wants to thank Mr. Boswell as an inspiration. He always had good stories to tell and always had a good time whenever he was around him. Mr. Boswell goes out of his way to make sure that you're on track and having fun. His favorite quote from himself, "I'd rather be fishing." Dakota would like to send out a shout to Mr. Boswell. Thanks for the memories and all the good times. Lexus Coates, daughter of Rochelle and Jamie Coates. Lexus has been accepted to the respiratory therapy program at Thompson Rivers University, a rare feat directly out of high school. Involved with soccer, basketball, volleyball, snowboarding, track, golf, student council, and a helping coach. She has been a consistent member of the honor, effort roll, and principals list, and has won various sports awards over the years, most recently being named MVP for senior girls volleyball, senior girls basketball, and female snowboarding. She was also awarded the Senior Female Athlete of the Year, the Senior Secondary Citizenship Award, and the 2023 Governor General's Medal as the top academic student over the past 2 years. Her favorite memory is finally being able to bring home the home trophy at the Attack the Knack girls soccer tournament. She is inspired by her brother because he doesn't listen to what everyone expects of him and instead goes after what he wants. Her quote, "Kid, you'll move mountains," from Dr. Zeus, and she would like to give a shout out to J.D. Ma for always capturing her finest moments. Willow Marin, daughter of Amanda Fraser and Adam Marin. Willow plans to move to Toronto to work in the film industry. An active member of soccer, volleyball, and basketball teams, her favorite memories always revolve around sports trips with her friends. Her inspiration is her mother. She never gave up, never gave me any idea that I couldn't do whatever I wanted to do. She is the one person who has always supported me all the while putting me in my place when needed, and for that, I will be forever grateful. Her quote, "We rip out much of ourselves to be cured of things faster, but to make yourself feel nothing, so as to not feel anything. What a waste." Liv Coates, daughter of Andrea and Sean Coates, Liv will be attending Thompson Rivers University in the fall in the Bachelor of Natural Resources Science program. Liv played volleyball, basketball, and soccer and was part of the student council. Often a member of the principal's list, as well as honor and effort roll. She was bestowed with certificates in senior girls volleyball and basketball at last evening's banquet. She was also chosen by her fellow graduates as the Alan Taylor Memorial Award winner. Her favorite memories include the outdoor ed canoe trip, soccer provincials, and other sports trips. Her inspiration is her mom. Her mom inspires her because she is the most hardworking and caring person, and she is always there for her and anyone who needs her. Her quote from John Muir, and totally appropriate, "Of all the paths you take in life, make sure a few of them are dirt." Erica Henderson, niece of Juan and Bill Cowan, Erica will be attending Vancouver Island University for a Bachelor of Arts degree in English with the hopes of either becoming a teacher or pursuing a degree in law. Active member of the soccer and volleyball teams, she was also a consistent member of the honor and effort roll and was a recent recipient of a Schmolik Foundation scholarship valued at $45,000 over the next 4 years. She was named the most inspirational player for senior girls soccer and the most hype for senior girls volleyball at last evening's banquet. Her favorite memories include overnight sports trip and winning the senior girls soccer home tournament. Her quote, "You may not end up where you thought you were going, but you will always end up where you were meant to be." Erica thanks her friends for the late night drives, the campfires, and her aunt and uncle for loving her unconditionally. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise if you're able for O Canada, led by NSS grade 11 student Livia Hiberson.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Livia. You will have noticed as the grads entered, they stopped by grade 11 student Nate Hicks, who was holding a piggy bank. This is a tradition here at the school. As the graduates passed by, he or she deposited a donation to support next year's graduates in their fundraising efforts. We thank you, Nate, for representing the graduates of 2024. We now come to the portion of the program where we have a chance to hear well wishes from the district, the community, and our local government. The grads have asked each speaker to limit their address to just a few minutes. I would like to welcome the Vice Chairperson of the Arrow Lakes Board of Education to present greetings, Mr. Steve Gascon.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, faculty members, parents, and most of all the graduates of Nakusp Secondary School, greetings from the SD10 Board of Education. Today's a day of anticipation, a day when we gather here, gather here to witness the grand finale of years of questionable fashion choices, creative reasons for why your locker smells so bad, and unforgettable moments that gave Mr. Guida more than just a few extra gray hairs. As a school trustee, I have the honor of adding a touch of humor, class, and let's be honest, incredibly good looks to this occasion today. To the graduates, congratulations. You've managed to survive high school with your sanity mostly intact, and for that, you deserve a standing ovation. Later. Your determination to finish those never-ending drama productions, survive cafeteria food experiments, and navigate the 100 maze-like hallways has earned you. Full disclosure, I had ChatGPT write this speech for me about 15 minutes ago, and it obviously doesn't know Nakusp Secondary School, so let's just wing it. I want to acknowledge the real superheroes in the room, the parents, today. To all the moms and dads and parents who've expertly juggled school projects, extracurriculars, and teenage drama, I tip my hat to you. You've mastered the art of staying calm during homework meltdowns and deciphering those I'm fine texts that are clearly anything but fine. Thank you for caring about your kids and for caring about their education and for sacrificing, for looking outside yourselves and your interests and for unselfishly building into your children. And the teachers who have guided you along this wild ride, they've witnessed it all. They've seen you grow from a snot-nosed kindergarten to a know-it-all high schooler and everything in between. Thank you, teachers, for being a constant source of knowledge, inspiration, and the occasional sarcastic remark, even if it was at your own expense. And now, grads, you're going to get a lot of advice this weekend, and a lot of it's going to be good. And I'm going to have a piece of advice for you as well. Embrace your failures. Embrace them like a long-lost friend who shows up unannounced at your graduation party. Life's going to throw challenges at you a lot faster than Mr. Bass throws dodgeballs at you in gym class. Which, to be fair, isn't that fast. We've all seen him throw, right? Some of those challenges you're going to conquer, and some of them you won't. And that's okay. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. Because failure is not the end, but it's the beginning of something extraordinary. It's not about how many times you get knocked down, but about how many times you get up, laugh it off, and keep on moving forward. And above all else, remember this. Life is about much more than gaining success in a career or accumulating possessions or a big fat bank account. Life is much bigger than any of those things. As you grow and spread your wings, you get to decide what kind of person you want to be. Let me encourage you to be a person that pursues truth wherever it leads and finds meaning in life that isn't connected to things. You are each wonderfully made, incredibly unique, infinitely valuable, and deeply loved. You have a whole village on your side. On behalf of the School District 10 Board of Education, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Gascon. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Superintendent of School District Number 10, Mr. Peter Dubinsky.
That's a pretty tough act to follow.
I had Mr. Gascon write my speech, so hope he didn't use ChatGPT. Welcome, congratulations, graduates. On behalf of the district, I would like to offer our congratulations and a welcome to everybody for being here today. Parents and family members, community. I want to extend my sincere thanks to grad committee and volunteers, and a special thanks to all the staff members who have contributed to this important moment in your lives. If you weren't here last year, I gave an amazing speech and a story about my graduation. If you weren't here, it was amazing. And I'm not going to give you a story about my graduation today, but I am going to give you a story. And it's not a story of me back in the 80s. It's a story about me about 2 years ago, just up the road at the Nakusp golf course, at one of our very first NSS golf practices. We were really thrilled to resurrect the golf team, and of course I was a bit fashionably late. And when I arrived, Miss Singh, wherever she is, there she is, greeted me, as she always does, with a big smile, and says, "Welcome, Senor Dubinsky. So glad that you could join us." And one of the grads that sits on this stage, who shall remain nameless, turned in mid-swing, turns right around and says, "Miss Singh, I know he's old, but why are you calling him a senior?" Senior, it's okay, you'll figure it out. And from that moment on, for the rest of the season, I was known as I entered the building or came to practice as Senior Dubinsky. Now, why do I tell you that story? Well, it's hilarious for those of us that were there. But I tell you this story because it got me thinking as I was thinking about what I was going to say to the grads today. And I started to think about how actually old I am getting. But more importantly, what part do us seniors or older folk play in your life? And I really appreciate that Trustee Gascon brought that up, because as adults, we play such an important role in getting you to this place. We help you with your growth, your development, and your learning. And it's a great journey. And it starts at the very beginning with your first teacher, your parents. And then, after about 5 years, you enter into school. And then you get to spend the next 13 years with a lot of different adults, brilliant educators and staff members, community members, and other adults who teach, mentor, model, support, challenge, encourage, push, applaud, listen, and we do a lot of talking. And it's all done to help you grow and mature. And somewhere along the way, kind of in the last 2 years, even though your eyes are super flexible because you roll them all the time when we talk to you, something miraculous happens. You start to become an adult. You start to think differently. You start to take on adult roles. You take jobs. You inherit more responsibility, both at home and at school. You get more freedom, autonomy, and more opportunity. You develop what you call wisdom and what we call attitude. And you're even at the point where you start to mentor and teach those that are younger. You may not do it intentionally, but you do it by the way you act in the hallways, in your classrooms, and in the community. Now, you're not at the point where music is too loud, or your back hurts in the morning, or you start saying, "What's up with these kids these days?" Well, you're not there yet, but you're well on your way. Now, as I've spent time with many of you over the last couple of years, as I listen to your capstone presentations and in conversations, what I see and what I hear is that you're turning into these amazing young adults. You appreciate, you are resilient, you have a strong sense of who you are, you have this amazing connection to your families and your friends, you understand the role of community and school, and you love your school, and your school loves you. You start to see beyond the self and think about others, and you even start thinking about the whole. You are what we oldies call starting to figure it out a little bit. And this leads to today,
your ability to cross the stage of dignity, purpose, and options, and you start to set your way into the world as an adult. So I want to ask you to do just a couple of things. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take a moment and I want you to look out into the audience, look at your parents, your families, people are here supporting you. Take a good look. Think about what they have done for you, with you. Now I want you to turn to each other. Look at each other. There you go. You don't have to look at your phones now. You can actually look into each other's eyes, not into a screen. And also think about all the things you've been through with each other, all the ups and the downs, the successes, the victories, and some of the defeats. Now I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Actually have to do it. Take a moment and start to think about your next steps. Think about all the exciting things that are ahead of you. Think about the unknowns, the fears and the challenges, the laughter, and the opportunities. Now you can open up your eyes. Now think about the people in front of you and think about the people beside you. And they are here for you as you move forward into that future, even though you may not know what lays ahead. You know that you have this amazing foundation in front of you and beside you, a school community and a community that is always there for you no matter what. So, from one senior to a graduating class of seniors, and it was Lexus, by the way, I have to tell you. Of course it was. I want to wish you all the very best, good health and happiness. Cherish these moments, but look forward to the moments that are ahead of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Dubinsky. Speaking on behalf of the Village of Nakusp, please welcome Mayor Tom Selznick.
Well, pretty hard to beat that. We're talking about seniors and age. So actually I graduated in 1973, so I don't know if you might need a lot of fingers and to add that up. So first I want to say thanks everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be asked to attend this year's graduating class of 2023. I'm pleased to bring greetings and congratulations to this year's grad class on behalf of the Village Council and the Mayor of Nakusp. As a class of 2023, you were also part of a generation that grew up online during the past pandemic, an event that took away some of your high school experiences that you had once imagined. Yet you continued your learning and are now about to step into the future with more purpose, passion, and vision. To this graduating class of 2023, go out on your journey and have your life experiences. Continue your education or career training, and remember, you're always welcome back to Nakusp with open arms to help us continue to build a great dynamic place to live. Never forget where you came from, but never let that hold you back from where you want to go. Also, this evening, I'll be giving you, each one of you, a little memento Village of Nakusp to share and wherever you go. So whenever you get lonely, or you can always put this pin on, it says Village of Nakusp. So I asked our CEO that, if we could give you Disneyland passes, but it wasn't in the budget. So congratulations to this year's memorable graduating class of 2023. All the best in the careers and paths you may wish to pursue. Remember, whatever you choose to pursue for a path, the struggles you may face along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Follow your passion, stay true to yourself, never follow someone else's path unless you're lost in the woods, and if you see a path, follow that back. Again, thank you for this honor today, and a big congratulations to class of 2023. Class of 2023, you are soon to be set free. And I do have some little memento pins that I'll be giving to Steve, or Mr. Guida, and he'll give them to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Zelznick. Our local MLA for the West Kootenays was unable to attend. She sent a note. Dear Nakusp grads, families, friends, and staff, thank you for the opportunity to offer a few words to celebrate your event. It is my great pleasure to congratulate all of you on this remarkable day of your high school graduation. Today we celebrate your hard work, remember all the challenges you have overcome, and reflect on the memories and friendships that you have made along the way. Whether you're continuing your education or entering the workforce, you have demonstrated that you are capable of achieving great things. Remember to follow your passions, be curious, and never stop learning. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2023. You have made us all proud, and we cannot wait to see the things you will accomplish in the future. Now, normally, I also give a speech at this time, but I've deferred to a couple of staff members who chose to do something different, and so I invite Ms. Tori Reed and Mr. Jared Strand to the stage.
Well, according to the program, I'm Peter Guida, and this is also Peter Guida, and this is Peter Guida's speech. Every year we have a school challenge, and this year's challenge was to do difficult things. Today is one of those difficult things, not just because of the hard work you've all had to put in to get here, but also because today is a day of change. Over the past years, we have seen you grow from fresh-faced grade 8s nervously trying to figure out high school into responsible, caring, and confident young humans. Today, we say goodbye to you as students, and we greet you as adults taking your place in the world.
Moments of change like today can bring with them mixed feelings that can seem contradictory at times. On one hand, today is a celebration of your achievement and hard work. You're off into the world to figure out who you are and what you're going to do with your life. You'll try new things, make new friends, and figure out who you want to be. The whole thing is ahead of you, with all the excitement and the possibility that that brings.
On the other hand, graduation is a day of leaving things behind. You are leaving behind the comfortable community of your classmates, your teachers, and maybe even your town. It can be a day of nervousness and worry. Responsibility and choices shift onto you, and things will be difficult at times. We don't always know what the future will bring.
There's going to be challenges and uncertainty in your future for everyone. It can be difficult, it can be scary, and at some point you might find yourself lying awake in the early morning thinking of all the things that can go wrong. But the unknown and the challenge is the beautiful thing about it. You have endless possibilities and choices of what you want to do and who you want to be. Take that unknown path, do difficult things. We're all really grateful to be part of this journey with you, and we're really excited to see where you'll go with it. Thanks, Grags.
Thank you, Ms. Reed and Mr. Strand. We now come to the part of the proceedings where each of the graduates will be presented individually. As the graduates step forward, I have the great honor of presenting them with their Nakusp graduation diploma, and then their tassel will be moved from the right side of their cap to the left side by the superintendent as a symbolic gesture of moving from candidate to graduate. I would like to ask NSS Vice Principal Jamie Singh and School District Number 10 Superintendent Peter Dubinsky to join me here on the stage.
Of course, we all know that their actual graduation will depend on the results of final exams and the grades of your final report card. I want to remind you all that your actual graduation certificates will arrive in the mail over the summer. And yes, we still have class for about a week and a half. Parents and family, you are welcome to come forward and take photos. Grads will be called up in the row, starting in the front row, and I encourage you to please just note where your child is so you can come up, take some photos, and then go back to your seat. Grads, I remind you to pause for photos and remember to look at the camera. At this time, will the front row of graduates please stand? Andrea Bonomi. Lexus Coates. Liv Coates. Erica Halderson. Grads, remember, please pause for a photo. Willow Marin. Dakota Fizzard. Anaya Hildebran. There's no running in heels. Pausing for photos. Will the front row of graduates please be seated? Row 2, please stand. Brody, Juan, Stahl. Julius Zapolatel. John Romeo. Michael Watson. Zola Mirror. Tava Greer. Nolan Bonner. There's pictures, Nolan. Jake BJornison. Will row 2 please be seated?
Thank you, Mr. Dubinsky and Ms. Singh. I now invite Mr. Don Corson, past president and community elder of the West Kootenay Métis Society, to say a few words and present sashes to our Métis graduates.
Thank you, certainly to the school board, to the teachers, to the Nakusp community, and to all these fine young students here. I've been the community president for the Métis Society for about 15 years. We're based out of the West Kootenay Métis Society anyway, is in Nelson. There's a large community of Métis people living in the Kootenays. We have approximately 200 registered members now. There's 23,000 registered Métis citizens in the province of British Columbia. There's 90,000 self-identifying as Métis residents and citizens of British Columbia. One of the encouraging things for me, we're in a path of discovering where we come from, where we've been in the past, and moving forward in the future. So it's really encouraging that the school boards, the governments, and basically all communities are embracing the recognition of the past history in Canada specifically, and the movement of educating ourselves and re-educating ourselves moving forward. So it's encouraging that all school districts now have Indigenous programming. It's a requirement starting, I don't think it's this year, but next year for sure, that all graduates will have to have an Indigenous Studies course as part of their graduation. So if they don't have that Indigenous Studies, they won't get into universities and further studies. So it's encouraging because we'll learn the truth and about where we've been. And it's really important moving forward. And I sort of reflect on my own personal awareness. We always were told we had Indigenous blood in our family, but it wasn't until 1996 until a great aunt came with our whole family tree back to 1600 in Canada. And that family tree solidified our genealogical connection to the Métis Nation of Canada, or there's a Métis National Council. We've presently got 5 Métis nations across Canada: Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and a large population in British Columbia. So it's evolving how we move forward as a recognized Indigenous people in Canada under the Section 35 of the Constitution. So a lot of people aren't aware of history and moving forward. So I don't want to belabor that. I'm here to acknowledge and celebrate these students. And we had some very good words from the speakers before me about your path and journey. And I always reflect on being grounded with yourself, knowing where you come from, and that heartbeat from your mother when you were born gives you that groundingness of where you started and what moves you forward. So we all move forward in passion, and I think about the lessons I would pass on are the 7 grandfather teachings that are taught across most Indigenous cultures, and it's humility, trust, respect, honor, truthfulness, love, and courage. And one of the presenters talked about courage of failure. You will all know that we've learned more from our mistakes and moving forward and not doing it again. So you will fail and you will all succeed, but follow that path from a good foundation. And I thank the community once again. There are more Indigenous people in the community. I was very surprised at a school board meeting how the population of Indigenous community members you have. And they're from all across Canada. We shouldn't look at, if you will, the Sinites as being the only people here. There's Cree, there's Anishinaabe, there's Ojibwa, there's Inuit people living in other communities. I'm not sure if here, but I'll guarantee you that you have a large population of Métis citizens. I have 15 that are registered. There's usually about 50% more that haven't really identified yet, haven't acknowledged where they came from or who they want to, where they their roots are. And it's up to every individual to follow that path and move forward in their own good way. I never challenge anyone about where they're coming from or what their space is, because we all contribute to society and we all have something to learn from each other. So I'm here today to sash those students. It's the first time we've participated in this event, and I really look forward to having another representative coming up next year and continue this awareness and engagement of the Métis people within the community and graduating. There's some wonderful programs that are available to Indigenous students, recognizing that we've been suppressed for years. So there are some great funding, and I'm glad to hear that one of your students has received some additional funding for education. So moving forward. So with that, I'll move over to the other side and do a sash. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Up to the mark, Don, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Corson. First up to be sashed, Zola Mirror. Tava Greer. Brody, Juan, Stahl. And thank you, Mr. Corson. I now ask Cam Leach, Vice Chair of the Nakusp Secondary School Scholarship Society, to come to the stage to say a few words about the scholarship and bursary program.
Thanks, Peter. On behalf of the Scholarship Society, we'd like to congratulate the grads of 2023, first of all. You got many milestones in your life, and this is one of them, and it's probably the easiest one you're ever going to achieve. The good thing is, moving forward, everything gets more interesting, more challenging, more rewarding, and you're more in control of where you're going to end up. To the parents, you're the moral compass for the kids, for your child. And by the looks of it, you've done a great job on it. My wife and I moved 3 kids through this system, and I can empathize with how proud you are sitting there and wondering about all the 18 years of listening, consoling, coaching, providing advice when requested, providing advice when not requested, which is also known as advice ignored, looking in your wallet and seeing a void. But regardless, when you sit there, it's one of the proudest moments you can have in your life. It's great. And the parents raise the child. There's no question about that. And in a small community like Nakusp, there's many organizations that help out one way or the other. And the Scholarship Society is just one of those organizations. In this brochure, towards the last 2 pages, there's a lot of information on the society, which I actually had here, so I'll breeze through this fairly quickly. the Scholarship Society is made up of a number of directors, and the directors this year, Val Hill, Kathy Bone, Andrea Coates, Sue Patterson, Francis Wamsley, Tammy Haskell, and Jolene Minchin, and myself. It's been around since '85 when Erling Johnson first approached the school to set up the society, and ever since then it's grown. And the purpose is to assist students pursue their post-secondary education, and we do that primarily through financial help. And through the years, many students have been able to continue their education because of the financial support of the Scholarship Society, and not just continue, but start, because sometimes it just takes a bit of money, a bit of an incentive to move forward and try your post-secondary education. Now, when you think of the Scholarship Society, just think of it as an umbrella body that facilitates and coordinates the award of scholarships from 59 different individuals and organizations in the community. I've been around the province, and I did a lot of work around the province, and a lot of times I talk to people about it because I'm very proud of our Scholarship Society, and I don't think there's anywhere in the province that provides as much financial support for their graduates on a per capita and per student capita basis as Nakusp. It's absolutely amazing. Our main goal is to make sure students are aware of the scholarships, help support selecting them, and manage the financial the finances of the awarded scholarships. Now, each individual organization set criteria for what the individuals are going to be, students are going to be assessed against, and they will usually pick the successful applicant. So there's two criteria. One, you have to apply, which most people do. And the second one, you have to attend NSS for the entire school year that the scholarship's being awarded and graduate in the year that the scholarship's being awarded. Once it's awarded, you have 2 years to claim your scholarship, and you got to stress that because a lot of times 2 years come by, kids don't claim it, and they lose it. It goes back into the pot of money for further scholarships. Which is 2 years is good because the first year you can take time off, you can work, you can find yourself, you can travel, do whatever you want. You can come back and take it. And if after the second year you still aren't certain, you can apply in writing for an extension. You'll get 1 year extension, but you have to apply, right? So I'm saying this as much to the students. I'm also saying it to the parents because the stuff does slip through the cracks, so make sure you're aware of that. Once they're awarded, the Scholarship Society will administer the funds. We don't give the funds to the students or the parents. We wait until you have proof of registration at the university, college, or whatever facility you're going to, and we'll pay them directly. That way we know that it's going to its intended purpose. In 1986, when the Scholarship Society first presented its awards, it was $5,351 plus a $4,000 investment in a Government of Canada bond. This year, we're awarding to these 15 students 69 scholarships or bursaries from 55 individual organizations for $58,000. So it's a good chunk of coin and help you on your way. The last thing I want to mention is that in this brochure on the second to last page is a list of all the organizations. And the only reason this Scholarship Society is successful is because of those organizations, and they continue to make it a success, and without them, we don't exist. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Leach, and the entire scholarship committee. I know, having been in numerous schools in the province, that this is one of the highest per capita scholarship and bursary programs of any high school. And the amazing work that the committee does and our community does to support our students is incredible. I am sure you will put the funds to good use, and if not, I'll happily hold on to some of it for you. Okay. Ms. Singh, can you join me here at the front? So 9 of our graduates applied for awards this year. The first I'm going to call is Dakota Fizzard. Dakota is receiving 2 scholarships and bursaries, the first a skills and trades bursary, and the second being a logging bursary. Zola Mirror. Zola is receiving 3 awards today. The Gaming Award from the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 20 here in Nakusp, the Clark Kessler Memorial, and an award from the Nakusp Secondary School Scholarship Society. Julius Zapolatel. Julius is the recipient of 5 awards today: the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 203 Edgewood Bursary, the Class of '97 Bursary, the Garth Haggart Memorial, the Skills and Trades Bursary, and the Needles Reunion Bursary. Grads, I encourage you to stay front and center till I finish. Don't walk away from Miss Singh. Erica Halderson. Erica is receiving 5 awards today: the Harry Murphy Memorial, the Donna Wong Memorial, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 20 Nakusp Poppy Bursary, the Sarah Jackins Memorial, and the Betsy Watson Memorial. Tava Greer. Tava is receiving 6 awards today: the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 203 from Edgewood, the Vera Johnson Memorial, the Kootenay Thunder Bursary, the NAC4 Trades Scholarship, the Nakusp Chamber of Commerce Award, and the Katrine Conroy MLA Bursary. Jake Bjarnason. Jake is receiving 7 awards today: the Class of '94 Bursary, the Legion Gaming Grant, the Dave Grimshire Memorial, the Gord Roberts Memorial, the Kootenay Savings Credit Union Scholarship, the Arrow Lakes Grape Growers Bursary, and a Logging Bursary. Liv Coates. Liv is receiving 10 awards today: the CUPE Local 2450, the Canadian Mountain Holidays Bursary, the NAC4 Academic Scholarship, the Class of 2000 Bursary, the Nakusp Chamber of Commerce Award, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 20 Gaming Bursary, the Debbie Jones Memorial, the Renewable Resources Award, the Star of the West Bursary, and is co-sharing the David Thompson Art Award. Brody Wanstall. Brody is receiving 12 awards today: the Class of 2003 Bursary, the Jason Ambrock Memorial, the Sarah Steichel Memorial, the Erling Johnson Memorial, the Arrow Lake Teachers Association Bursary, the Nakusp Rotary Bursary, the CIBC Robin Pazurek Memorial, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 20 Gaming Bursary, the Columbia Power Bursary, the Debbie Samuelson Memorial, the Class of 2006 Bursary, and the Ron Aldridge Citizenship Award. Lexus Coates. Lexus is receiving a total of 19 scholarships and bursaries today: the Hospital Employees Union, the Arrow Lakes Hospital Auxiliary Bursary, the Arrow Lakes Hospital Foundation Scholarship, the Janice Berge Memorial, the Arrow Lakes Teachers Association Scholarship, a bursary from Save On Foods, the Rotary Club of Nakusp Bursary, the Nakusp Chamber of Commerce, the Trinity McQuare Memorial, the Class of 2001 Bursary, the Legion Poppy Bursary, the Green Door Bursary, the Class of 94 Sports Award, the Reunion 80 Award, the Joan Fowler Memorial, the Debbie Jones Memorial, the Bill Robison Memorial, a School District Number 10 District Authority Scholarship, and a co-share of the David Thompson Art Bursary. So earlier this year, the graduates held an election and they selected one of their peers to share some stories and say goodbye for all of them. It gives me great pleasure to call on this year's valedictorian, Miss Lexus Coates.
Good afternoon to the community, staff, family, and friends who are here to celebrate the graduating class of 2023. Dr. Seuss once said, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go." Isn't it crazy that we're sitting here on graduation day? It feels like just yesterday, over 20 of us were crowded in the office while Mr. Guida told us how 2023 would be the year that we graduated. Who would have thought back then that there'd only be 15 of us up on this stage today? Together, we watched our classmates cycle in and out of our school. When we welcomed someone new, we had to watch another leave. Because of this, we learned to cherish the moments we had together, even if it was just as small as fighting over a donut in the backfield or singing Sweet Caroline in the back of the bus. Through all of the losses and new faces we have experienced, we have grown to be the individuals we are today. I would actually say that we are lucky to have gone through school with such a small class. It has allowed us to make strong connections with one another that may not have been possible in a larger class. We were able to support each other through every accomplishment, help each other in the classes we struggled with, and were able to enjoy the laughs we have shared over the years. No matter what happened, there was always someone there to have your back. Together, we experienced both good and the bad times, whether it was in the classroom being yelled at by a teacher for not confessing who it was that did what we were not supposed to do, banning us from playing dodgeball, or making unforgettable memories on that grade 7 camping trip. We can appreciate knowing that wherever our lives take us, we will always have someone there to pick us back up when we fall or to be our support system through all of our ups and downs. Over the last few years, we grew together as a class. Yes, we grew up individually. Some of us got taller, some of us didn't. And our voices changed and we became more mature. But through all of us growing and figuring out who we were, we also figured out who we were as a class. We figured out our strengths and weaknesses, who was good at shop classes, who was suited for academics, and who could throw a dodgeball the hardest. We slowly grew up from the kids we were when we first entered high school, and now we are in the final chapter of our high school career, about to make some of the biggest decisions in our lives. As kids, we were always asked what we wanted to be when we grew up. When we were in elementary school, that wasn't a hard question. We just said the first thing that came to our minds. But we've grown up since then, and slowly, over the years, that became a much more loaded question, until we finally had to decide what each of our next steps were going to be. For some of us, that wasn't a difficult task, while others had to think hard about what their next move was going to be. Of course, there isn't a right or wrong answer to this question, so why was it so difficult to answer? Like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. You have to trust that somehow the dots will connect in your future. So to answer that question, we don't actually know what's to come in the future for any of us, whether we already think we have it planned out or we have absolutely no clue. We've just got to live dot to dot and wait for it to complete the picture. On behalf of the graduating class, I would like to thank our family members, the administrators, the NSS staff, and everyone else who played a part in getting us up on this stage today. We truly couldn't have done it without you. And finally, to the class of 2023, we might not have walked into that first day of kindergarten together, but today, together, we will walk off the stage as Nakusp Secondary graduates. So whether we are going off to become a doctor or engineer, studying for a bachelor's degree, aiming for a Red Seal trade, or taking a year off to work, play hockey, or ski the backcountry, we are all moving on to the next stage of our lives, and soon we will look back and reminisce fondly about the moments we have shared over the past 13 years. So in the words of Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it is over, smile because it happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. Well, that brings us to the end of our ceremony, but certainly not the end of our celebrations. We all know that putting a function of this size is a team effort, and we always need people at the top. So a big special shout out to our school secretary and mom of one of the graduates, Andrea Coates, for all of her work, vice principal, Miss Jamie Singh, and the relentless efforts of everyone who helped make this day happen. We've mentioned a few names in the program, but inevitably somebody got missed. Please know that your efforts are appreciated. We thank everyone in our audience today for coming to celebrate this joyful milestone in our grads' lives. I know it means so much to them that you have shown your support here today. On behalf of everyone at Nakusp Secondary School and in our community, I would like to extend our wishes for a happy yet safe celebration this weekend. The recessional or grand march ends today's ceremony. Ms. Singh, can I have you do music? Thank you. When the march is finished, the graduates will be assembling in the back corner of the arena for the traditional cap toss. Graduates, will you please stand? Uh-oh, sorry. Lexus and Liv. Erica and Willow. Andrea and Dakota. Anaya. Michael and John. Tava and Zola. Nolan and Jake. Brody and Julius. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2023 graduates from Nakusp Secondary School. Graduate families, if you would like to take a bouquet of flowers home, if you please do, but please bring the vase back to school sometime this week. Graduates, you are welcome to hold on to your gowns if you need them for family photos and things at home, but please remember to bring the gowns and sashes back to school. The cap and tassel is yours to keep. Thank you for coming, everyone, and have a very safe weekend.